I don't know what is in the air, but the downloads have been coming through just so rapid fire lately. And so I had a message come through, and although I do tend to say this a lot, for this video, this really is going to be very specific. I am speaking to someone who has really left an impression. Sorry, I have to adjust my microphone here. Really left an impression on a group of people because I was seeing the vision of a whole group of people talking about you. And I'm hearing that it's at least 2 to 3 people. And I feel that there's a very strong masculine charge from this group. They don't necessarily have to all be masculine energies, but I'm just feeling this. I'm feeling a masculine energetic charge, and we will get into what that could mean later on, because it may just mean that this is a group of people that tends to be more, I'm hearing, like career oriented or action oriented or more like logically minded than what we would consider to be quote unquote spiritual. And I keep getting the word impression, like you left a major impression on this group of people. I'm hearing that specifically, it may have been one person in the group that you left an impression on, and then they went and have been talking to all of these other people about you. But it has a very positive kind of vibe to it. So it's almost like gossip, but in a positive sense, like they just can't stop talking about you and what it was like to meet you and encounter you. And I'm getting as well that if you personally met someone from this group, which I'm feeling you at least met one of them in person or had some kind of conversation or communication, I'm getting that they themselves have been almost like lying awake at night, thinking about you and feeling your energy, because what they keep thinking to themselves is, you are unlike anyone that I've ever met before or anyone I've ever encountered. I'm also hearing something about you defying their expectations. So what I'm getting is you may have been, prior to meeting you, this person may have had some idea of you that was very different from the truth of you. And so they may have had, I'm hearing for some of you, it's because you have a very beautiful or attractive exterior, and maybe they saw photos of you and felt that you were a very physically attractive or beautiful person. And so they had this idea of you in their head that maybe because of that, you would be someone who is more shallow or superficial, but your energy is the most authentic frequency that they've ever encountered. And I'm getting that you don't even fully realize the kind of impression that you've left on this person, because the way you interacted with them was so fluid and natural for you. So you didn't feel like there was anything crazy going on when you were encountering them. In fact, there is a bit of a personal message coming through for you within all of this, which is, you've begun doing this thing where you are just so, I keep getting that word fluid, like so fluidly connected to your own higher self that you just naturally channel through that energy. It's like you've merged your physical human 3D form and the way you show up physically in that form with the higher version of yourself. And in a world where most people are living with a huge chasm between their soul, their most authentic self, their higher self, and how they're presenting themselves physically, their human 3D self, you are a very rare being to encounter, because it's very rare to come across someone like you who has merged both aspects of themselves. And most likely because this person is more logically minded, I'm hearing they may not even really believe in spiritual things. So they may not use this language to describe you. Like they may not use terms like 3D or 5D or divine, but you have left such a massive impression on them that they can't help but talk to a lot of other people about you. It's funny because I know you could hear I had an alarm set and I forgot that I had set an alarm for something. And it's almost like that came through synchronistically because meeting you was also a wake-up call for this person. I'm getting that while your interaction and conversation with them on the surface may have not seemed that deep, the way that your energy affected them is literally a wake-up call to them, because I feel that somehow it's called attention to areas of their life where they've been coasting or where they've been deeply unfulfilled, but I'm hearing not really living, like they are feeling as though they're not really living in certain areas of their life, or that they've become complacent. And the reason they are awakening to that is because they encountered someone like you who is so alive. Like, I know that's seemingly a simplistic way of putting it, but you are someone who is so full of aliveness. And that's the dominant kind of energy that this person felt from you. And yet there's such a softness to you as well. I'm getting many of you may resonate with the divine feminine energy. There's just this softness and this beauty and grace about your energy, and yet a strength and a confidence and a lack of a need for validation. Like, if this person is the masculine and you are the feminine, I'm getting that subconsciously, it's like they've never met a feminine energy like you, because they've never met a feminine that showed up in their space like so confident and self-assured, and yet not being so confident that you don't need to actively like project some kind of like false confidence. It's like you have a divine confidence within yourself. You know who you are. And so it's like you're strong enough to be soft. You're confident enough in who you are to actually be very gentle and very compassionate and open with others. And I'm getting that because your heart was so open when you communicated with this person, they found themselves opening up to you in ways that have honestly made them a little bit self-conscious, because as they've been reflecting and also talking about this whole encounter with you, one thing they've become self-conscious about is worrying that possibly they shared too much about themselves or opened too much about themselves, because when they were around you, even though this is someone who typically has very strong walls, I'm getting that they told you things or shared stories or like parts of their past or their life with you. And I'm hearing like in a public context. So maybe you met this person like at a restaurant or in public. I'm seeing two people like in a public place, but then they're just opening up and pouring out like their whole life story, their whole journey to you. And I'm hearing it's because even though they may consciously say that they don't believe in spiritual things, their soul recognized you as this oracle. Like, you are literally this go-between, this mediator in a sense between man or woman, like humankind and the divine. And what I mean by that is you help people to connect more consciously with a higher version of themselves simply through the frequency that you emanate. And I'm getting, this is a little bit of a personal aside for you, but I am getting that as you continue this spiritual journey that you've been upon, you're going to notice this happening more and more consciously. So you're going to start noticing that you are emitting some kind of like unnameable frequency or energy that is seemingly connecting people with a higher version of themselves or a higher consciousness. I'm even getting the words unconscious channeling. So I feel that at times, and maybe this even happened with this person, there will be moments where you say something that you don't even know like why you said it. It just like came out, and it came out of nowhere, and you may not realize it, but in many of those moments, you are actually unconsciously channeling for others. You are sharing something or asking something or like opening up something that is something that they need to hear from their own higher self. It's almost like you at times are unconsciously channeling for the higher self or the spirit guides of other people who may be more disconnected from that higher aspect of themselves. And so I feel that somehow you did that for this person, and you may not even realize it. I keep getting that you've most likely underestimated the impact that you've had on this person. I'm actually getting, you may have even walked away kind of wondering, I wonder how I came across, or I wonder what impression I made on them, because I feel that you showed up so open and so authentic. And in a way, it's like, while that's become very natural for you, you never really know how other people are going to react to it, because I'm sure you've learned recently that that kind of authentic energy is intimidating to people who are running from parts of themselves, because it naturally draws out the authentic self of another person that you're communicating with or interacting with. So if they're running from their authentic self and they're feeling you draw that out within them, then they're naturally going to push you away or kind of feel intimidated by you. But I feel that it was the opposite with this person. They felt so drawn in by your energy. And in fact, they can't stop thinking about it. I almost get the sense that they're craving it. Like they're craving even just having a 15-minute conversation with you, because they're craving the feeling that they got in your presence. And what I really wanted to say, and why I wanted to come on with this download tonight, is the message came through that they've never encountered a divine being like you before. And what I mean by that is they've never encountered someone before who is showing up, yes, in this, of course, physical human form, but also at the same time, connecting in that human form as this higher aspect of themselves. And I'm hearing something about low vibrational environments. So this person may have been raised, I'm hearing the words hometown. Maybe their hometown was a low vibrational environment, or they were raised in like lack mentality or lower vibrational frequencies, or maybe they still exist or live in those frequencies. But I'm getting that you almost appear to them like this angelic kind of being, like you carry a frequency so high that it almost looked to them that you were like literally lit up, like something about you was like glowing. Again, even though they are very closed off to a lot of concepts of spirituality. And I feel this is someone who would actually consider themselves to be very much like an atheist or agnostic, and very much focused on like science and logic, and not open to or interested in exploring a more metaphysical perspective. And that really makes it all the more meaningful that you left this kind of impression on them, because it's almost like the experience of connecting with you is opening their mind to new possibilities. Yes, for themselves personally, because I'm hearing that somehow connecting with you has made them realize ways in which they've settled, or ways in which they've become complacent in their life. And I'm hearing something about how they've never met someone so beautiful and yet so soft and so like lit up and like glowing and radiant, but also so gentle. I feel that you seem to, I'm hearing you hit everything just right. Like you're in the sweet spot of everything energetically. And I'm actually getting that there's a message within this from someone's guides or higher self, just generally. I mean, yes, we're talking about how this specific person is reacting to you, and I feel that is important to channel into. It's the message coming up tonight. But there's something to be said just for you personally, like the fact that you are in this sweet spot energetically. I'm getting the words manifestation. So I feel that you are in the sweet spot for your own manifestations as well. So it's not just about the reaction that you're getting from other people. I'm hearing you may feel like you're in the void, but you're actually in the sweet spot. So you may feel as though you've fallen through the cracks somehow. I am getting this energy like you may be feeling like you are somehow losing control in a sense over something, or backsliding in a way, or falling through the cracks of something. And yet your guides, your higher self, the universe wants you to know that you aren't falling through the cracks. You are actually in the sweet spot of creation right now. And it's very important for you to keep that energy in balance and to trust this process, because what feels like a void is actually like a portal of creation, as long as you continue to trust it and to continue to lean into it and stay in this like sweet spot that you're in. I'm getting that you may have a lot of energies trying to pull you. I just saw 444 trying to pull you in different directions, or like maybe these are internal voices or energies where you feel like you should be making this decision or that decision, but nothing feels quite right. Like you're just enjoying being in this peaceful space or this void. But then there are those fears coming up. Like, what if I'm slipping through the cracks? What if I'm backsliding? But what I'm hearing is you're tapping into higher creation, like higher ways of creating and higher ways of manifesting that most of the collective does not have access to. So I know that's a bit of a side message, but it felt important to channel. Now, I want to get back to this person who seems to be I'm hearing still thinking about you, still talking about you, like bringing you up to people. I'm hearing trying to act casual, but like they can't deny the effect that your energy has had on them. I'm feeling this like buzzing sensation. And I feel that is how they felt after they walked away from you or after the two of you said goodbye or disconnected. I feel that they felt almost like a high, almost like they were buzzing with energy. And it's almost like they felt during the experience of connecting with you that something about you was very special. Yes. However, it's really in the aftermath that they began to realize just how powerful you really are. And it's because there's something about your energy that lingers. I'm hearing like a really good perfume. It's like you leave a scent on people metaphorically in like a spiritual sense that lingers with them, that sticks in their mind, that makes them crave you as they continue to reflect on their interaction with you. I'm hearing the feeling deepens when they're away from you. And I am getting something as well about you in general, especially if you are a feminine energy. There's a kind of power in allowing your energy to linger. And I feel this is something you've been mastering lately. So this might just be a confirmation for someone, but you're mastering this art of making a powerful impression, being confident in your impression, and then giving it space, letting it linger, choosing to refocus on yourself, maybe to disconnect if that's what feels right for you, and to let your energy take effect, because I feel that you are finally really locking in a conscious way, this knowing that you are a slow burn feminine energy, that you have this energy that is meant to take hold over the course of time, that you almost, it's like the way someone experiences your energy in the moment is beautiful, but the true effect of your energy can't be felt until it lingers. It has to go through this kind of slow burn. And I get that you've become so cognizant of this, that you may even have these sort of like meta kinds of moments where you are interacting with someone or meeting them and you know what kind of impression you're making, but they don't consciously receive that impression yet because your energy hasn't had time to linger with them. So you may be thinking to yourself in your own mind, like they feel kind of casual now, but I know my energy is going to linger with them. And it's not an egotistical thing. It's like you just have this awareness through, past experiences. This happens for you over and over again, where someone encounters you. And I feel this does often happen with masculine energies romantically, or may have happened for you in the past, where a masculine came in thinking that they could treat you casually, but deep down you knew that your energy was going to linger with them, that you were a spiritual awakening wrapped up in a person. And they didn't realize that until later on down the line. So with this specific person, this may or may not be romantic. I'm getting for many of you, this could be a totally platonic situation. That was just an example. But I want to see if we can pull any cards about anything that this person is thinking or saying about you. I'm hearing in flow, like they perceive you as someone that is tapped into a higher energy, or like, oh, wow, so many cards wanted to come out there, like half the deck. Yeah, so that just represents the fact that they're thinking very heavily on you. Attachment in the reverse position. Yeah, you have called, and you didn't even do this, I feel, consciously. Like this wasn't your intention consciously, but the effect of your energy has made them feel called out, but not in a bad way, like in a way that makes them, it's a wake up call, like that alarm that went off earlier. It's like they are waking up to the realization that there are certain things that they've become complacent about, certain things in their life that they have been, I'm hearing mediocre. It's almost like they've been living a mediocre life or accepting certain aspects of their life as just the way it is and just kind of like giving up their agency to actually actively create in those areas of their life. And somehow meeting someone like you who is so bold, who is entirely living life on their own terms, has made them realize ways in which they've given up that agency. And so with storm warning, yeah, I feel that while you've left this beautiful, glowing impression on them, it's brought some conflict as well, like inner conflict, because it's been a wake-up call for them. You've literally activated a spiritual awakening, like a literal spiritual wake-up call in this masculine energy with journey in the upright position. And I'm hearing it's sending them on a journey that's going to change the trajectory of their life. I'm also hearing the word obsessive. So from their perspective, they may be judging their thoughts about you as obsessive, feeling like it's almost leaving them a little unbalanced. Like, why am I thinking about this feminine so much? This feels like obsessive. Why can't I let go of this energy? Yeah, with Healer of the Ages, something about your presence was so healing to them. And I'm hearing that what happens in these scenarios is you are a feminine who is very healed and balanced. And what this means is that when you meet or connect with a masculine, you're not grabbing or like reaching for anything from them. You're not seeking something from them unconsciously. And when most feminines are still operating from a wound. And so when the wounded feminine connects with a masculine, she is unconsciously seeking, like grabbing for validation or something external from that masculine. And while he may not be able to name that consciously, he senses it unconsciously. And it actually imbalances or like keeps him in a state of imbalance. And this is how most relationships are formed and why there is a lot of disharmony in most connections in relationships, because it's like a wounded masculine connecting with a wounded feminine and then forming some kind of like codependent bond in some way. But you are stepping into a totally different template because you've gone on some kind of individual journey of healing your feminine energy, which of course involves healing your masculine energy, because in order to heal the feminine, to heal the part of you that is unconsciously seeking support, validation, etc., from the physical external masculine, you have to heal your internal masculine, meaning you have to start giving that to yourself. And that's been this self-love journey that you've been upon. But anyway, we don't really need to recap that journey because I know you know what that's been for you. But what I am getting is that now, when you connect with any masculine, and again, it doesn't have to be romantic, it may not be in this case, but you are coming from a place of wholeness. And so rather than connecting codependently, your frequency of wholeness actually acts as like a retuning device for them, for the masculine you're connecting with. So rather than feeling imbalanced in your presence, they actually feel increasingly harmonized and like retuned, recalibrated just through connecting with you, because connecting with healed feminine energy is very healing for a masculine, and it's very magnetizing to them as well. And so I feel that's what's been happening with this particular masculine coming through this reading. Now, this is reminding me of the subliminal I created to help you rebalance your internal divine masculine and divine feminine energy. So if you're interested in checking that out, that subliminal in my subliminals app, Sound and Soulful, I will leave a link to it in the pinned comment and description box. I personally have noticed that this really helps me to keep my inner feminine and masculine in balance. This feels like a really powerful tool that could serve some of you who are listening to this reading. So if you do feel guided to it, I will leave information on that underneath the video. But I feel that in this instance, this particular masculine, again, regardless of whether it's romantic or not, they have felt your healed feminine energy in a powerful way. And I almost want to say it's like overwhelmingly wonderful or overwhelmingly beautiful for them. Like, I actually am seeing a masculine who is crying. They may have even cried or felt emotional after connecting with you because, again, your presence retuned their own energy, like retuned their inner masculine and feminine energy as well. It made them actually, the thing is, when you as a healed feminine connect with a masculine, you make them feel safe to actually both step up into their masculine leadership state, but also you make them feel safe to show more of their feminine as well, to be more soft and open and emotionally connected and available, because they can sense subconsciously that you are not seeking anything from them, that you are like this, I'm hearing like an open vessel in a way for like love and for beauty and creativity. And it's like you are not you are very strong in your boundaries. I mean, that's the inner masculine side that you've healed, but you are not requesting or like asking of anything of them unconsciously. You're not trying to grasp at something, and that's very magnetic. And so I know we're really getting deep into the quantum mechanics of this, but that's really just what I'm getting from this particular person. And I do get the sense that they've been discussing you to other masculine friends. That's what's coming through here really strongly. And again, it's like they are talking about you with like most likely one or two other masculine energies. And I'm really curious to know like what they're saying about you. Although I guess it would be we could kind of deduce some of what they're saying just from the rest of the reading and channeling so much into how they're thinking and feeling about you. But I just want to see if I can get any more specifics on what this masculine is saying about you. Let's go to the traditional tarot. The Fool card in the upright position. Yeah, there's this, you're very free-spirited. There's this energy of freedom around you. And yet with the Hermit card and Judgment, so I am hearing that they've been discussing you with others, these masculine friends that we're talking about, but the true wake-up call has been very private for them, meaning everything we've channeled into as far as the way that you woke them up spiritually, how you've called their attention to areas of their life where they'd become complacent, all of those things seem to be happening through their private contemplation. I feel like they haven't been ready to actually open up that specific information to others, but I am getting the word beautiful. So I feel they've really talked to others about how beautiful you are, how magnetic and charming you are as well. But I have to say, I feel like you touched this person's heart. Like, again, you may have actually surfaced emotions with them. They may have cried privately after interacting with you. I feel like you made them feel things that they have not allowed themselves to feel. I'm hearing for some of them for years. And you did it all like potentially even in a public meeting setting or like a brief encounter or conversation. I feel like you're loosening this like almost like a trauma or like a wound within them that solidified itself into a wall around their heart, but you're like loosening that trauma and breaking down that wall, but you did it so softly that it's almost like they didn't even realize how much you'd opened up their heart or how much they had been feeling until they were away from you, and it kind of all hit them at once. That's what I'm getting here. So I'm going to go ahead and close the reading here. I hope this reached you if it was for you, and I will connect with you here again in the next